A lot to discuss here. Let's bring in Kelly Hyman, attorney. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning, Kelly. We really do appreciate it.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
I want to start with this. We heard Hillary Clinton saying she had no knowledge of Epstein or Maxwell's crimes. How significant is that statement legally?
So from a legal perspective, it's important to know that Hillary Clinton had a deposition taken under oath. And so what that means is if you lie under oath, there are criminal implications. What that means is you could be charged with a crime, whether it's perjury or lying to Congress. That's why it's important when someone testifies under oath to give truthful, honest statements.
Now, Kelly, I mentioned here when I was bringing you in that we saw that photo leaked of Hillary Clinton just yesterday, and I'm going to put it back up on the screen here for our viewers who may have missed it. How can this impact the deposition? We do know it was paused for a brief time there. It then resumed shortly thereafter. Does that really have an impact?
From a legal standpoint of Hillary Clinton's deposition, it doesn't have an impact. They did, as you stated, took a break and then afterwards continued on with the deposition. However, it is been noted that taking the photo was in violation of the House rules. And so potentially because of that, there could be some type of sanctions or something along those lines for the person that did that. However, I don't see that happening in this matter.
Now, is this purely oversight here, or are we seeing something that could carry criminal implications? Can the public expect really anything to come of all this?
This is about transparency and accountability. As someone that represents victims of sex trafficking and human trafficking, it has been reported that the victims want transparency. They want accountability for people that have done wrong. Now, from a legal perspective, this is an investigation, so there potentially could be criminal charges as well because of this. Now, it's important to remember in regards to the Clintons themselves that they testified, but if they didn't testify, then they could have been in contempt of Congress. And what that means from a legal perspective is that their legal significance because of that, potentially fines or jail time. So that has significant impacts in this. But hopefully there will be justice, and this is not going to stop the investigation, and so that there's full transparency for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
Let's talk a little bit about what we're expecting to see today around 11 a.m. Eastern time. We do know former President Bill Clinton also set to testify. He's going to be the first former president forced to testify before Congress. What is at stake for him personally, Kelly?
There is a lot at stake because not only from a legal perspective, but then also the court of public opinion. Now, this deposition is going to be behind closed doors, and that the Clintons has asked that it be open to the public because a majority of the Americans want to know exactly what's going on. Having said that, the deposition and the video has been reported that is going to be made to the public, so the public will get to see exactly what was going on. They will get to learn information, hopefully, and that can hopefully help some of the victims, but also to get more information going forward of what Clintons have done. Now, they have asserted that they haven't done any wrongdoing. It has been reported that Hillary Clinton has said during her deposition that she was never at Epstein's island, that she was never on Epstein's plane, that she doesn't recall meeting Epstein. But we also see potentially questions about Clinton and his interaction with Epstein during his deposition today.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question for you. What questions could we expect to see there? And putting this post back up here from Fox News Politics, it says, unlike Hillary, flight records show Clinton rode Epstein's plane multiple times. So potentially maybe some questions about that, Kelly, as well. Now, does the former President Bill Clinton have the option of invoking the Fifth Amendment in a setting like this? What are his options here?
From a legal perspective, a U.S. citizen has the option during a deposition to assert a Fifth Amendment privilege. And what that means is it's in our Constitution, and you assert a Fifth Amendment privilege because of a right of self-incrimination. A lot of high-profile politicians who's had depositions taken have asserted this in order to protect your rights. Having said that, in the court of public opinion, people associate that with guilt, that someone is not being transparent, that someone is trying to hide something, that they're not straightforward.
Now, Kelly, we've been sharing with our viewers here as we were taking live looks there outside the Chappaqua Performing Arts Center yesterday that media is not allowed inside here. But we do know that James Comer also said that these depositions are being taped. They will eventually be released to the public at some point there. My question to you is, though, once these tapes are released, this moves from a closed-door deposition to a very public moment. How much does that change the political risk for a former president?
Well, from a legal perspective, definitely if there's any type of potential crime, that there are legal ramifications of that, but then also of the court of public opinion. Now the American people who want transparency, the American people want accountability, will have the opportunity to see exactly what happened, to look at Clinton's demeanor, how he acted, because it's going to be videotaped. What knowledge did he have? How often did he fly on the airplane? Where did he go? And the significance of his relationship with Epstein.
My last question for you, Kelly. Could this lead to opening the door to other lawmakers being questioned?
It could definitely lead to questions by other people as well, because the American people want to know why this happened. The victims deserve justice. Now, we have to remember that there was the Epstein Transparency Act, and that was bipartisan. This shouldn't be a political stance on it, because the American people want to know exactly what's going on. And under the Transparency Act of Epstein, documents were supposed to be released so that the victims were shed light on exactly what happened, and so that the American people could know what was going on.
All right. As we continue to watch this here today, of course, we're going to be keeping an eye to see if we're going to get any more lawmaker statements. But Kelly, before I let you go, anything else you'd like to add about this?
It's important that there is complete knowledge of what exactly happened, because the American people want to know. And I do not believe that this investigation is going anywhere. There's millions of documents that have been put out there. I believe that this is just the start of the beginning, and hopefully it will give the victims of Epstein some type of closure. Hopefully it will give them some type of peace for the victims.
All right, Kelly Hyman, we appreciate you joining, as always, here on Live Now from Fox.
Thanks for having me.